That's all you got.
We got some hoops to talk about from last night. We also have some hoops tonight we'll talk about as well at some point. But Thunder Wolves, this one was fun. We finally got a close game in this one. SGA, Jalen Williams lead their team to a 3-1 series lead. Anthony Edwards did finish with 16. Gilgeous-alexander Walker had 23 points. He was 5 of 8 from 3. Do you know they were cousins? Minnesota did finish this with 23 turnovers. But you know what? A lot has been made. Jalen Williams in these playoffs. Will he, won't he? He's becoming himself, all of that. But then last night happened, and this has to be the best game he's played.
Yeah, it has to be. And he's been doing this all season long, where as good as SGA is, he has been kind of that second closer. When SGA's having an off night, when he's having a hot hand, they know to get him the ball in the right spots. And he can do it in so many different ways, right? He's kind of like a bigger SGA where he can stop on a dime. He gets to his mid-range, he can get to the basket, gets to the foul line. When he becomes a more 40-45% three-point shooter, this kid's game is sky is the limit because he does it all. He defends. Obviously, he was on the all-defensive team. He's on all-NBA. He's an all-star. He's basically got every accolade you could possibly get, and this kid is going to continue to get better. Now you see him in the biggest moments of the season, thriving, having his best game ever. That's a huge sign going forward.
That's a problem, Lou, because there were moments last night they just weren't missing. I mean, as this thing winds down, OKC was ridiculous.
Yeah, that's what you want to see out of your star guys. You want to see the best two players on your team take and make big shots and not afraid of the moment. That's what I love about SGA. That's what I love about Jalen. These guys, they understand the moment. They understand the assignment. They know that with these teams left, this is the opportunity for you to go get a ring, and they're not putting that opportunity in nobody else's hands. They're going to go out there. They're going to make the shots. Jalen Williams is going to take the marquee matchups. This thing is going to go and it's going to flow based on the play of these two guys, and that's what I love about this duo of two guys. They just understand the moment right now, and they're not putting it in anybody else's hands.
And think about this is like the knock on them was their youth, right? Their inexperience. This exact situation in this game is how you build and earn that trust and how you get that confidence as a young team that's trying to get over that hump and to win their first championship. And they handled this situations beautifully. The end of game, the fouling when up 3. I know we always go at it, but when Minnesota doesn't have the timeout and they have to go the full length of the court, they foul and they execute down the stretch perfectly. They don't panic. They get the best possible shot. They only had one. I think SGA had the one turnover when they were up 5. Was kind of their only mistake, and in a crazy environment, pressure-packed situation. So this is the type of game that challenges them, and they're battle-tested. And as a young team, you can't ask for a better opportunity on the road and to go and finish the deal. This was super impressive.
Also, the fact that they lost the game before this by 42 points. I mean, I don't know if it's because they're young and they can just get it out of their brains quicker. Is that a sign of greatness for this team?
I think they laid an egg. They knew it, and they just kept pushing forward, right? Like, a loss is a loss. Whether it's a 1-point loss or a 40-point loss, it is what it is. And I just said it. They understand the moment. They understand the assignment. Listen, it's the first of 4 games, so we can't overreact to it being a big loss. Let's go back and get this thing back on track. And again, you come out, you got one of your stars that takes 30 shots. Your other star takes 24 shots. If we're going to lose this basketball game, it's going to be on the shoulders of us. We're not going to put that responsibility on anybody else. And I think Minnesota needs a dose of that. Their star guys got to listen. We're going to live and die with the way that we play and what we put on the table, and everybody else has to follow. So with them guys, with those two guys, knowing that was the situation, losing that game 3, coming back and responding like this in game 4, that just showed you how mature they are and how much of in the moment that they are right now.
And I know last week we weren't saying that this is a big 3, but Chet Holmgren was unbelievable.
We call it a trio.
And I think it's because of SGA, how
it's starting
good.
to happen, too. Now I'm starting to see the conversation about the big 3.
And that's not even a knock on Chet or Jalen. It's because SGA has kind of separated himself as an MVP, as an All-NBA type player. But these two dudes do everything as well. And Chet is so good defensively and altering shots. They all defend. They all play make. They can all score. And it is crazy to think how young they are. And now they're on the way to their first championship run, and all 3 of them are helping in so many different ways. They impact winning, and they know their roles, and there's no ego. They get along so well. So this is becoming a big 3 that we're going to see for a really long time.
I know. Maybe we've ingrained in our minds what a big 3 is supposed to look like. It's just a trio.
But also, it's organic. It's all drafted, homegrown, no signing, no
post-game interviews,
no pairing up.
I think that's the biggest part. Yeah. The biggest part is all of these guys are homegrown. It's not like this team was put together through trade or through anything like that. Like, you draft drafted these guys, and these guys now it's coming into fruition what you always thought that they would be and what they could accomplish together. And I think that's one of the reasons why we don't really label them necessarily as a big three. But the way that these guys are playing, the production that they're putting up, this is a duo. This is a trio that you're gonna have to deal with for years and years to come if these guys continue to do what they're doing.
Yeah, it's like if you go and package one of them with some assets and go bring in a Giannis or KD, that's now a big three. But they don't need to do that. This big three is good enough. They're young enough, and they're gonna continue to get better and better with just the relationship they have and the chemistry. It's unbelievable what they do. And again, the fact that they're so young and they defend is...
They do everything.
It probably would be one of those things that you'll understand in hindsight. Like, think about it. When it was Russell, KD, James coming off the bench, those guys were a duo. But now you look back, you could say, well, damn, when James Harden was coming off the bench, at that time, he was a Sixth Man of the Year candidate. you know, so over time, when you see what guys can accomplish separately, you understand what they are together.
Also, I think when you trade for SGA, you don't know 100% that you have no idea this is what's coming. You just can't. You could be like optimistic and think this kid's got something.
I forgot that he wasn't drafted there. Like,
because he feels like
he's in so well. I forgot that I played with him first. But you know, but again, he's the one guy that came over in trade and everything else followed.
That was before he was who he is.
Yeah, he wasn't a superstar. By the way, I always laugh too because this is the actual process that other teams have made mottos out of, right? Like, this was a process that OKC's been doing, love it or don't, and it has actually worked. Let's talk some Ant. Not great. 13 field goal attempts. That's his second, tied for his second fewest in a playoff game. He had 2 in the first half. Here he is after this game.
I don't look at it like I struggled or he struggled. They had a good game plan, making us get off the ball. Especially for me, man, it was super in the gaps. I made the right play all night, so I don't really look at it like I struggled. I didn't get enough shots to say I struggled, so that might be how you guys look at it. But yeah, I didn't struggle at all. It's just I made the right play.
Okay, all right. Why are you giggling?
Well, it's just crazy because clearly he's frustrated and clearly he's struggled, right? He's been struggling from the three-point line all season long, or all series long, and that has credit to the Oklahoma City Thunder defense. And they force you into so many turnovers. They speed you up. They get in gaps. And this is what he's talking about where he's saying he didn't struggle. They have a great game plan for me. Look how they collapse on him. They make him kick. So he is kind of right where he's making the right play. That is the right basketball play when he draws 2 guys, 3 guys, and kicks it out to a shooter. Make or miss a shot, that is the right play. That's what he has to continue to do. Now, on the flip side, OKC, they have to keep doing this. They have to keep clogging the paint. They have to keep shooting the gap, and they have to keep making this impossible for him because it's working. They're up 3-1. He's frustrating. His three-point shot's not going in right now, and he's due for a big game. I think he's going to erupt in the next game, and he's going to start making some shots, but 2 shots in the first half, 13 in the game. Quiet. I don't care how they're guarding me. That is not enough for you need your star to be a star, and he's not, and Julius Randle's also struggled big time.
He didn't struggle. I agree with him there. But that's the problem. We need you to force the action right now. You have to force the action. Like, we can't have a first half where you only get 2 shots. I was having this conversation yesterday. Listen, I'm a star player, or I'm one of the guys that you expect to go get a bucket. I'm getting 2 or 3 attempts on accident. I'm gonna fill it out. Like, my first shot, I just want to see what's going on. I'm gonna attack the rim. I want to see what's happening early on in this game. I want to bait the defense in to show me what is the game plan. You know, and I think Finch can help him here. Everything that we see, every clip, he's having to create. He has the ball in his hands. He's coming off a pick and roll where he's gonna play in crowds. Make it easy for him. Catch it in the mid post. Go dribble handoff. Put them in a post where they have to collapse on them. That way you can make the right plays, like he's saying. But right now you're trying to do everything off the dribble. That's gonna be a hard and that's gonna be an exhausting way to play, especially with all of the wing defenders that OKC have and the different looks. They can put Dort on you. They can put Jalen on you. They can put even SGA on you. They got Caruso coming off the bench. Isaiah Joe, it's 5 guys I just named without thinking that they can keep these matchups on you that's going to make it difficult. So if you're constantly trying to create offense off the dribble from half court in a pick and roll, you're going to struggle. You're going to see crowds. They got to find a way to make this game easier for him where he can be efficient. But having 2 attempts in the first half, 13 to end the game, look, these guys just showed you 24 and 30 shots. We're going to put it up. And you got to have that. Him, Julius Randle, they got to at least have 20 attempts a pop. And again, to start the game, even if I'm forcing 1 or 2 up, I'm going to force your hand to Show me what is the game plan. And they got to find ways to get him off the basketball where he can be efficient, where he doesn't have to play in crowds. And if you're going to make the right play, at least make it from 15 feet from the basket where guys can even attack off the rim or shoot jump shots. But not being aggressive, yes, you didn't struggle, but you also didn't force the action either.
And at this point, down 3-1, they got to be okay with him going 8 for 25. Like, you have to. He's what got you there, right? And again, they've been such a good defensive, tough team. They've gotten big games from Alexander Walker. They've gotten big games from McDaniels. They've been the most consistent. It's not enough, especially when Julius Randle is struggling. Anthony Edwards has to take 20 to 25 to 30 shots. That is okay. I don't care if they're bad. I don't care if they're step backs. I don't care if it's 2-on-1 floaters in the lane. Like, you live with that if you're the Minnesota Timberwolves, down 3-1, going to OKC. It's going to be insane there. You saw last night when they landed at 3 a.m. Like, it was chaos at the airport.
That was kind of cool, actually.
You were going into an elimination game with your season on the line. I'm living with Anthony Edwards taking 30 shots game 5.
Well, I'm wondering, too, how much of that is what he's doing and then the Julius Randle of it all. This is kind of what I think people were worried about, is Julius Randle coming back down to earth. 2 of 11 in game 2, 1 of 7 last night. You can't have both these guys playing like that, Lou. This is like an absolute recipe for disaster.
No, you can't. And their season is about to come to a close. And, you know, I'm not going to bail these guys out and blame it on youth or anything. Now, I do feel like these guys are so great, we forget how young they are and the experiences that they've had in the playoffs. But it's no excuse when it comes down to this. Julius Randle got to play better. Like, that's what they brought you over here for. They brought you over here to be a part of a duo, to be the second best player on this basketball team, to be a stress reliever for Ant Edwards. So if Ant is going to struggle, who's the next guy you're going to look at? And if he's going to struggle, you can't rely on your bench to win you games. I don't care. Naz Reid, former sixth man of the year, DiVincenzo, Alexander Walker, all of those guys are playing well, but that's not their job to win you basketball games. They are supporting cast. They need you two guys. This is a 2-point game, and you have a guy that's 1 for 7. Your other superstars 5 for 13. If they just have one good quarter of basketball, we're having a completely different conversation, and that's going to be a hard pill to swallow for them in the offseason, knowing that they were so close to these opportunities to get this thing 2-2 by them just playing decent and not being passive. If they play that way, we're having a completely different conversation. But again, only 1 for 7 from the field. I got to live with you having at least 20 attempts. And if it don't go your way, then cool. But just 7 attempts for the game, unacceptable.
And this is with McDaniels having 22. This is with Alexander Walker having 23 and Dante DiVincenzo having 21. So this is with the role players doing what they do. Naz Reid had double figures as well. This is where, as a Timberwolves fan, it's hard to not look at that Cat trade.
It's tough.
Be like, okay, damn, this is why it hurts us, because Cat is possibly a number 1 option most places, and he can carry the load when Anthony Edwards is getting guarded like this and getting forced and they're jumping him and taking the ball out of his hands. That is where they're getting a little bit exposed now. And Julius Randle, as good as he's been super inconsistent. And it reminds me of the Jalen Green series where, like, he's up, he's down, he goes 1 for 7, he goes 3 for 12. You can't do that when you are brought here, especially for a guy as talented as Karl-Anthony Towns. You're always going to get compared to that. And offensively, it's not close of the players they are. Now, he's shown flashes. He's shown brilliance. He was unbelievable against the Lakers. He was unbelievable against the Warriors. Like, he's just now, and I don't know if it's them presenting him challenges with their length, with their switching, putting a smaller guy like Caruso on him has kind of thrown him off. But like Lou said, regardless, 7 shots is not enough for him, and 13 shots is not enough for Anthony Edwards. I don't care how they're being guarded. You have to get more attempts up.
Like, and 1 maybe, but both?
But listen, give OKC credit, because on the other end, they're making him guard too. Jalen Williams is his matchup. He's having to guard. His head is probably spinning trying to figure out where do I fit in this series. But again, the best version of Julius Randle is when he's putting his head down, when he's attacking that rim, when he's using his size as an advantage, and then he uses that to open up the 3-point line for himself. If he's going to play vice versa, where if he has to make shots to be effective in this series, they can go ahead and pack it up.
It's shocking to me that both guys do this. Look, this was the first close game we've gotten in this series, and it was a really, really fun playoff game. until the end. In the final 15 seconds of this bad boy, there were 10 free throws shot. So, and by the way, a lot of talk immediately after this game ended last night into the morning about the NBA having to figure out a way to ban fouling up 3 in the last minute of a game. It definitely turns it from a really fun, exciting sporting event to meh. And Lou, this is a conversation you guys have had numerous times. Last night was just sort of the most drawn out version that we've seen so far. Do you stand by, like, where are you on this? Okay, yeah, I hate it.
I hate it. I really do. I would like the NBA to take a look at it and maybe put a limit on it.
Okay.
I understand there's a game inside of a game, and it's a game of inches, and anything could happen. But when you shoot 10 free throws in less than 12 seconds of a game, like, why do you have an all-defensive team if you're not willing to go out there and put your best defensive team out there and try to get you a stop for the game? And I'm also a big fan of never giving away anything. I'm not going to donate you 2 free throws and then put pressure on myself to go win a basketball game by me missing free throws. At this point, the data is going to show you it goes both ways. This works. It doesn't work. None of these things are 100%, but what we all can agree on, it affects the flow of the game. It affects the ending of games. And you know, it's just... It's anticlimactic, for lack of a better word. You know, you just have these foul, and then it's immediate. Then you don't have timeouts. Then you got timeouts. 10 seconds of a game takes damn near 5 to 10 minutes. I hate it. I would like the NBA to look at it and possibly put a limit on it. Maybe the same way you can do the hack a Shack. You can only do it up until the last 2 minutes of a game. Yeah, like let's look into that and let's get that excitement back. Like, are game winners not a part of the game anymore? Are getting stops not a part of the game anymore? We got to get back to the essence of this thing. So much data is in the game, and it messes up the flow of the game. It messes up the vibe. It messes up the excitement. I wish they would take a look at it.
It's tough. It's tough to watch, and I'm on the opposite side of Lou.
I know
I'm fouling up 3 every single time. I am extending the game. I am not letting a lucky half, especially when they got to go full court.
Especially these days.
I'm not allowing luck to come into play with a whole full court shot. It's funny. I have an ongoing joke with my wife where I'm like, come on, there's only 2 minutes left in the game. Like, I'll be right there. And these 2 minutes now, I can't even do that anymore because now she knows it takes 20, 30 minutes. So it is dreadful, and it takes too long. But as a coach and as a player, that is the best strategy analytically wise to win the ball game. So again, it worked last night. It hasn't worked in certain scenarios this season, but it is wildly long. And then they throw in a challenge here, and then a challenge.
Well, then you got the fan catching the ball and how much time.
It, and then it's the whole review. Even like college basketball is a nightmare. You review every play under 2 minutes.
We're starting to foul with like 20 seconds to go.
Yeah,
we're not even doing this with like a short.
And they got a foul to give too on both sides.
Yeah, that's the problem for me. We just start this thing way too early, and it's not even basketball related. Like last night, as soon as Minnesota gets the ball in, OKC is fouling them. I'm like, he didn't take a dribble. He didn't turn his back. He didn't force the action. He didn't try to even get a shot attempt off. We don't even allow these things to play out. And then now you're going tit for tat. And again, we're having different conversations every single game if a guy misses a free throw. Imagine if SGA smoked one of these last night, right? Gave them an opportunity. So again, I don't want to be in a position to ever put pressure on myself when I've done a good enough job to win a basketball game already. Also,
there were some upset gamblers with the 2.5 spread last night with this foul, and that smoked a lot of money. Not good.
I was happy we had a close game, but that final minute was just excruciating. The Timberwolves turnover situation, I'll be curious to see what you guys think. You know, Chandler, how you fix it. Like, Mike Conley hasn't been great. Dante did get a bunch of those minutes, but they had 23 last night, which is one shy of their season high. I know it's like you're desperate now. So what do you do? How do you tweak this?
Well, I think first of all, you credit their defense. They've been doing this all season long. They force your hand. They speed you up. They pressure you 94 feet. They mix up different coverages too, where they're blitzing you half the time. They're never really playing you soft, going under. They are making you beat them. They are making you make the right play every single time, and they haven't been doing it. And so I think there are different sets they can run. Mike Conley, I think, needs to play more than 19 minutes. They need that that comfort guy out there to kind of get them in their sets and get their offense. Maybe letting him handle a little bit more than Anthony Edwards handling, trying to create everything on his own. It's exhausting, but again, I think the Timberwolves, they could be doing a lot of things differently, but the Oklahoma City defense is so stifling. They just force you up, and they do it at such a high rate, and then they're so good scoring in transition. So it is part of their offense is being such a good defensive team.
Well, call a spade a spade. 40% of these turnovers are Ant and Julius. That's 40% of those turnovers. So again, you have to find a way to take the ball out of their hands, make it easier for them on the offensive end to be efficient, to make plays for you. If you have these guys bringing the ball up off of rebounds, or Ant-Man, he gets a lot of his actions out of pick and rolls with Rudy Gobert at the top of the key, or the angle actions. Figure out a way where you can dribble handoff to him going into a pick and roll where now he's going downhill. Now he can be more effective with the basketball opposed to trying to create everything for him, and you can possibly make this a different thing. And the same thing for Randle. He's coming down, getting a rebound, trying to be the point forward.
Nope.
These guys are too good in the passing lanes. This is a defensive team. You can't really play with the basketball in front of them. They're going to be in passing lanes. They're going to reach. They're going to do everything they can to try to get that basketball from you. And they score off a lot of their turnovers as well. That's going to be problematic for you if you continue to do that. You got to find easier and more effective ways for these guys to handle the basketball in the half court.
We're going to take a quick break. The Knicks, they live another day. We're going to take a look at that game.
Don't be so excited, dude.
As well. That's professionalism. We'll be right back.
Running back, yeah.